We sisters, we three, combine the times to set you free. Come dawn that brings the day to dust. Infinity within combusts.
Wholeness, seeds of Silvertree. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is Nadja Rashida Silvertree here. Welcome to the second season of the Red Serpent Medicine. Today is the episode 3, Exploring the Eyes of Time. In this intro, I must say and apologize for another late upload. I've been having a lot of personal happenings going on in my life, so emotionally and psychically, mentally, I just haven't really been in the right space to upload and to tune into higher energies because of what's going on in the physical. So again, I apologize for that. Also, I would like to give thanks and gratitude for my listeners tuning in and for your comments and for your support. Again, as always, please check out the incredible and powerful Ceka on Zen Wombs, her channel. Check it out. She is a creator of solutions, and she's a huge inspiration for me. So please check her out. And I can't really think of anything else from the top of my head or on my heart. I'm really excited to explore this today's topic with you all and today's message. So let's get started. The vision. The vision. I see 3 sisters holding a ring of some kind. I believe it's metallic. And I see 3 sisters, 3 women with one hand holding this ring. And they have long, scraggly, untamed hair. It's like white and dark. It's old, tattered, long, lengthy hair. I then see that their face is an eye. Where the nose and our human eyes and our mouth and our cheeks should be, there is only an eye. And their bodies only consisted of an arm and a hand that hold this metallic, thin, very thin ring. And they're moving in circles. They're moving with each other. I don't see that they have, legs or anything. I just see this tattered and torn robe-like cloth on each of their forms. I see long, scraggly hair that would go past their waist, and I see 3 hands, one from each sister, holding and moving together in a circle, and then the eye in each face. And one sister represents dawn. She represents the dawn of time, the beginning. Her name is Sister Dawn. The second sister is Sister Day. She represents the present. So Sister Dawn represents the past. Sister Day represents the present. And Sister Dust represents the future. And all simultaneously work together. One sister cannot function without the other two, and vice versa. And so they are all in movement together, simultaneously connecting together and moving in one movement. That was the visual, that was the vision that I saw. And so let's get into the analysis of the message, the channeled message of the three sisters and the vision. And then we'll get into the reading, the energy reading. So for the analysis, it was very interesting. And later on, when I pull up the sigil for you and the runes that I pulled, everything will connect. It's very interesting. The three sisters and this whole concept of time, exploring the eyes of time. What does that mean with Sister Dawn, Sister Day, Sister Dust? Now this is a concept that if you're a big reader into old stories and storytelling of the time, right? You have the three horses. You have I think there's a red horse, a white horse, and a black horse. And I think the red represents the dawn, white represents the day, and the black horse represents the night. Okay, and this came to me in the form of the three sisters that simultaneously work together in time, and they move in time. One sister, the Sister Dawn, can only see all that has happened in the past, so she has access to all timelines of the past. She's connected to the present, she's connected to the future, but she can only see and perceive what has happened in the past in all wombkind and mankind. In all that is time, she can see what has happened. And Sister Day, she is the seer of the present moment. So she can see, she has access to all that is happening right now at this very moment. What's happening across the seas, what's happening in the darkest of corners, of the human collective. What is happening in broad daylight, what is happening beyond the veil, what is happening in the illusion, in the matrix. She has access to it all in the very present moment. It is a very, very powerful gift and powerful way to see. However, can we change what is happening at this very present moment, right? And next we have, but not least, the Sister Dust, the future. Right, the Sister Dust, the future, she can only see what will happen, what will come, all possibilities, all potential. Each sister represents also the age. Sister Dawn is of the beginning. She is young, she is youthful, she is ignorant. Right, she is. It's the beginning. What all is new and what can be, a breath of fresh air. Sister Day is a woman, a maiden, right? Or no, not a maiden. The mother. And then we have Sister Dust, and she is the crony. Okay, or the crone, the old woman. So we have this connection of this very linear, right? We are in the matrix where the time is very linear. It's very A, B, C, beginning, middle, end. And So each space, you have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden, the mother, the old woman. You have ignorance, right? You have ignorance, you have intelligence, and then you have wisdom. And that's what this system is primarily made of. It's a very, forward, very linear, very direct. And with this exploration of the eyes of time, I want you to approach and try to see with me here of the connection, of all the sisters in a very circular, cyclical way. What would your life mean to you if time was approached in a cyclical way instead of a linear way of the past, present, future? What if one could have access to all perceptions? Right? The tune, Love and Marriage. Love and marriage, love and marriage. There's a line in there, a lyric. It goes, one can't do without the other, right? We can't separate past, present, future. We try. There are many people tend to, I notice that in certain beings I'll meet in my life, they will attach themselves to either the past. They become obsessed with it. They try to relive the past. They can't see or explore other potentialities. They are fixed in what has happened to them. Right? And there are beings out there I've met on my path that are very, very, very connected to the present. They live in the now. They're very free. They're very hippie-like. They're just very focused on the now. They don't necessarily learn their lessons. The lessons tend to keep repeating themselves because they don't really, they don't take what has happened to them. They don't take the lessons from the past. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do this again, right? They just keep getting in the cycle, just being in the now, and that's all that matters. And then you have those that live constantly in the future. They focus primarily on things that have not yet come to pass. They obsess about it, and rather than being present, they obsess about what will be. They don't focus primarily on living. They focus on dying in a way. You see, the concept, I was very kind of hesitant on diving into this because the concept of time is all about how we perceive the stories that happen to us. The feminine approach, the divine feminine, the divine mother approach to time is very different from father time. Mother time, we can tune into different frequencies and access different timelines based on our frequency, based on the stories that we choose to believe. We can actually rewrite her story or his story. So I'm not quite sure how deep I should get into this. And I question what is the connection to, or what does the human collective need to know of the three sisters? In the poem, I channeled, we sisters, we three, combine the times to set you free. Come dawn that brings the day to dust. Infinity within combusts. So when we combine the relationships that we have with the past, present, future into one, then we become free of it. Then we know what infinity is. The infinity within us combusts. It catches a flame. It burns all that is false, all the illusions of this linear approach to time, and we are freed, we are liberated, right? You have oracles, psychics, mediums that have great access to, the timelines of the past. Great. They're just gifted in that way. They can look at a person and tell their whole past life story, past lives, not just in this one, but past lives in other experiences in other worlds and other dimensions. Then you have people who can, psychics and mediums, who can tell you what's going on in your present life, exactly what's happening to the second. And then you have those that can tell you the, endless potentials of one decision, one choice that you make in your life. And that can, unfold and manifest different results due to the choices that you make in the present moment. So there are many different ways and different approaches where, we can tune into time in a more cyclical and circular way. Nothing is ever fixed. Nothing is fixed. I challenge you, my dear listener, my dear seeds of Silvertree, I challenge you to question time. Question time. Before I move on, I'm going to share something with you, something personal. I used to be a record keeper. At the age of 9 or 10 years, I decided to write and keep a journal. And I kept a journal for 20 years. Of all the happenings of my life, all the excitement, all the traumas, all the pains, all the horrors, all the joys. And I kept these journals. I had probably 25 of them, maybe. Thin ones, thick ones, small ones, large ones. And I kept them for years and years, for over 20 years. And it was around my 30th birthday, arrival day, where I decided to let it go, to let all those records I've kept over the years, and I let them be. I wanted to free myself from certain timelines. And what was the most interesting thing is that you could study your own personal cycles in your life. You can literally create your own medicine wheel by studying the events that take place in your own life. A lot of the time we say, oh, I'm going to follow astrology. What's your sun sign? What's your moon sign? What's your rising? What's your house? These planets affect this and that. But it took a lot of courage for me to just step back from that system, to step into the space of empowerment and to create my own way, my own medicine wheel, my own wheel of time, and how I choose to perceive it, the past, present, future. Because all that has happened, all that is happening, and all that will happen has already happened. It's very weird. It's very, logic and rationality come into play when it comes to how we organize the stories in our life. Anyone else could say, well, Naja, that doesn't make sense. What's happened in the past has happened in the past. And what's happened right now, it's happening. And what will happen, we don't know yet. But if you include the mother, if you tune into that wheel, where all timelines exist at the same time. You open yourself to deeper truths. Many people say, oh, that's happened in the past. It's no longer affecting me. It is affecting you. How you perceive your past manifests your present. How you live your present will manifest into the future. One can't function without the other. All moves together in one big current, one big cosmic current. I wish I can go deeper into this, but that's all that I can share, because it is such a very vast topic when it comes to the concept of time. But yes, the sister dawn, the sister day, and sister future, and sister dust. The dawn, the day, the dust. We all have experienced our dawn. We are experiencing our day, and we will experience our dust. I think that's all that I have right now. It's kind of fuzzy. It's a little weird, this reading. But I would like to now get into the rune reading for the energy vortex. So, I pulled for the mind the full moon, or the circle, meaning the circle that the sisters were holding with their hands. Okay? That circle is cyclical. It's round. It's a wheel. And the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. It keeps moving. We can prepare for the coming events, and the wheel will keep moving. We cannot prepare for the coming events, and the wheel will keep moving. And that's very humbling, isn't it? Because sometimes people will say, well, if I don't prepare for whatever's coming, then it won't matter. I won't have to face sister dust, which is also symbolic for death. We return to dust. Our bodies return to dust. Return to all that is. And then there are some of us that will say, well, if I prepare and prepare and prepare, then that too will keep sister dust at bay. And that is also false. So, what is the secret in all this? What will truly liberate us? Is it living in the present? In the now? The next one, you have the why. For the heart rune, we have that why. And that why is very symbolic for the three hands, the three arms, all working together to form that wheel. And three hands, the Trinity. The Trinity is very old symbolic. The Mother, the Father, and the child. Right? Or the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit in the patriarchal storyline. But for me, it represents the mother, father, child. That sister, or the sisters. The maiden, the mother, the old woman. And you know what's so powerful about this rune is that it reminds us that we have access to all of them. There are times where we need to access the wisdom of the old woman. There are times when we need to access the intelligence of the mother. There are times when we need to dive deep in our own ignorance, being exposed, being vulnerable in our ignorance and what we don't know. being okay with not knowing, using our intelligence to solve our problems, to create our problems, and using our wisdom to set ourselves free, to know when not to play the game, to know when to make the move. There's much, much, much to say about this, but for time's sake, no pun intended. Let's move on to the third and final rune that represents the body of the collective. This is significant. This is the serpent's eye, the all-seeing eye, like in Lord of the Rings, right? They deem it as, they make it all fiery and hellish and demonic. Woo. And it's not. It is the inner eye, the inner knowing, tuning into the inner knowing of the body, dear human collective. What does that mean? Tuning into the inner knowing of our physical form, of our physical human experience. A lot of the time we undermine the intelligence, the power of the human body. From the microorganisms and the atoms that make up our form to the power of the human immune system, we won't even give it a chance. They tell us, put this in your body, do this to your body. We won't even allow our bodies to form at their supreme level because we're constantly being told a story. Also, this rune represents the hypnosis, the eyes, the eye, okay? In the serpent medicine, when you look into a snake eye, it's very hypnotic. There's a scene, or, oh gosh, what's the story? I think it's Mowgli. Mowgli, it's a boy lost in the jungle somewhere in South Asia, and that serpent, I think the serpent's name is Ka or Kai or Ra or something like that, but it's like they have a beef, but it's Mowgli and the serpent. And the serpent there's a scene in this movie that came out a couple of years ago where it uses hypnosis on Mowgli. And our bodies, our bodies are hypnotized. They're programmed to get up and do things that it's not naturally meant to do. So, dear human collective, learn how to self-hypnotize. You can do that through meditation. Really, self-meditate. You can literally self-hypnotize through meditation. Protecting the intelligence of your body through the mind. And last but not least, we have the sigil. The sigil here, as you can see, they're all the runes combined. And we have 3 eyes. We have the ring of time. We have the 3 arms holding the ring together. And then we have 3 eyes. Now you can say, well, Naja, the eye on top is the 3rd eye, and the 2 other eyes are, our normal eyes and how we perceive our physical form. But these are the 3 eyes of the 3 sisters. If you tune into this medicine wheel, okay, of the eyes of time. This is this you can tune into this. You can tune into the sister dawn, sister day, sister dust energy within yourself. This is all to help you expand your consciousness by exploring your own personal concept of time and how has that affected, or how is it affecting, or how will it affect your lifeline. Notice I didn't say lifetime, I said lifeline. That's what it really is. A continuum of infinity. You tune into your different past lifelines, your present lifelines, and your future lifelines, and you pull that into your present moment. You can manifest whatever it is you choose to manifest as a co-creator of your existence. If you lock yourself into specific past lifelines, present lifelines, or future lifelines, you can lock yourself into a story that would be very hard to break. Create your story and you'll have more expansive access to the different time lines than you would just living life, not questioning anything. Some people will say that the present is all that we have. Live in the now, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which I've read, and it's helped me tremendously because I was constantly in my maiden days, very focused in on the past, what happened to me, this is what happened to me. And now as I'm in my mother phase, my mother season, I'm learning the power of present. What does present mean? The gift, right? We can use our present as a portal to manifest whatever reality we choose. So, I'm not sure how this reading will come off. Gather what you feel is true with you. This was probably one of the hardest readings to do for me. In conclusion, this is by far very challenging because it's a day-to-day battle within myself, of being present and using the present as a portal. I can access past or future, right? But everything is interconnected. Everything is cyclical and circular. Everything is womb. Everything is round. And so in my mother season, I'm learning to access my own internal medicine wheels. I'm not necessarily personally a big fan of astrology anymore, or even the whole zodiac signs. There's truth in it, but to me, I'm going to leave you with this, my dear listeners. Create your own energy map. As I've mentioned before, for me, I used my journals as a way to, record my habits, record events. For over 20 years, I did this. And then I let it all go. Okay? You can journal, you can record yourself through video, there's some people who keep, video diaries and just they, process their life that way for a whole year or a month or whatever, a week. But I'm just here to say, create your own energy maps. Don't tie yourself to stories and narratives. Be very, 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 very careful on what you consume online. Okay? Because these portals, because YouTube is a portal, okay? It's a portal. Magic happens. Magic is happening and will continue to happen through this platform. When you watch a video, you enter into the timeline of the person who's casting and uploading their message. So you tune into whatever frequencies and vibrations they're at that present moment. So if what's entertaining for you may be hurting your path. And as I say this to you, I say this to myself as well. You know, go through your subscriptions, go through, you know, with a fine-tooth comb, like who you're listening, who you're consuming, because everything is impacting everything else. All of our timelines are becoming more and more and more prominent. That's why in this sigil you see the 3 eyes. That means something's being exposed. Everyone's past is being exposed. The present is being exposed, and the future plans for the human collective is being exposed. They can't hide it. You have Sister Dawn, Sister Day, and Sister Dust all with their eyes wide open. All is being exposed. And timelines are beginning to blend and separate wherever their frequency or vibration is. Thank you so much for listening in to this message. Again, this was a huge challenge because time is a big one. You know, from the get, we are told that when we're born, we're dying, you know, like that. And I'm like, but death is only an illusion, right? So it's a really big topic, but I just felt that maybe I could give a shot out, you know, or shot at it. And maybe in future videos, I'll revisit with a more tangible, way to understand what this is, but that's what came out of it. I thank you, and I feel so grateful for you for listening and tuning in. I have 2 other channels. I have a music channel called SLVRTR, and that's where I post my conscious alchemical sounds and frequencies, so please check that out. And then I also have a third YouTube channel called Seeds of Silvertree, and that's going to be more free-flowing, more focused on my how-to projects, because I'm all about creating, doing, manifesting, and it's going to be less, I'd say, metaphysical and more just tangible stuff, okay? I'm going to get into a lot of my own personal interests in just developing skill sets like sewing and woodworking and building things. And so, yes, my partner and I were definitely going to get into that. So I'm really excited, but I want to end this message with this. Remember to embrace supreme loving guidance, expand your consciousness, and evolve your human being.